What's up and welcome back to Interpreting the Stars, where today I'm really excited to be talking about a new Netflix film that's coming out tomorrow, and I was able to check it out a little bit early. It's Gina Rodriguez's latest film, Awake. Awake is essentially about a world that has just experienced a global event that has caused all electronics to die, as well as force everybody around the world to stay awake, but still experience the life-threatening effects of sleep deprivation. And everybody must come together to try to find a way to fix this problem before the lack of sleep kills them. So I'm a sucker for a good premise. In a world where everything seems so cut and paste, I like films to feel a little bit different. And while Awake isn't utterly original, I think that it still mostly felt fresh. I think a lot of people are going to notice that it's on the same train of thrillers that focus on a lack of sense or motor function, like, A Quiet Place. So in that, people couldn't use their voices. Bird Box came after that with the inability to use your eyes. There can be an argument made that the film Hush is in the same boat, as is Don't Breathe. Awake does the same thing, but kind of goes a different direction and uses the lack of sleep as the tension builder, and that's honestly not a bad idea. Our ability to maintain a clear mind goes out the window quick when we don't get sleep, and I love the slow build-up in this film as we watch these people slowly lose their minds, slowly hear, see, and imagine things. I really liked in the beginning of the movie how you saw that even people in comas couldn't sleep, so they were waking up. I also liked the electronics getting fried all over the world. Now, we have seen other apocalyptic movies and TV shows that have done the same thing, since that's a popular trope for a world going crazy, but I especially liked how it was done in this film. For instance, our brain can sort of be seen as a computer in and of itself, and when this event fried computers, it almost like it killed a part of the brain that allowed people to sleep. So even though it might not seem connected, it definitely is. Also, before I forget to mention it, I actually liked how this movie was shot. It's not a constant thing, but there are definitely a few moments here and there where I thought that there was particularly good care for the way that the camera was utilized to make it all stand out. But of course, it's an imperfect film, and weirdly enough, there was one area of the film that I'm undecided on, and that's the acting. These actors are either doing a crazy great job acting beyond tired for their roles, or they're simply phoning it in and they're bored. I want to give it the benefit of the doubt and say that the acting was pretty good, but when you have people walking around like a zombie, like, oh my god, don't kill my family, it's hard to give these people a nice shiny award for best acting. That's all I'm saying. As for where it's specifically bad, honestly, I enjoyed the movie as a whole, but there was one thing that could have easily been dealt with better, and that was the transition of sleep deprivation. You see, it goes from a simple, hey, it seems like we're not going to be able to sleep, and the next scene, I kid you not, people are freaking out in a church and deciding whether or not to murder a child as a sacrifice. Oh, now, hold on there. Hold your dang horses. What? There needs to be more build-up than that. It felt like I missed something, like a deleted scene or something, that got us there, but that never happened. It just kind of jumped right into let's kill children in a church. That's a thing now, I guess. But I guess in a certain light, it does make sense because outside of the walls of that church, the entire world started going crazy, and some were even acting like it was time for the purge. Another slight issue that I had with the film is the plot, which I haven't talked too much about. It's very reminiscent to other apocalyptic films like it, in which, we'll just say that everybody is experiencing the same problem, and that there's one possible solution that everybody wants and is willing to kill to find it. But whichever the case, it's not a foolproof solution, and it might not even work in the first place. Whatever the case, I clocked it. I predicted exactly how the film would end 14 minutes in. 14. I said, this is exactly how they're going to fix this issue, and that's what happened. Doesn't make the movie bad, it just means that it's predictable. At least it's predictable to me, who had seen, a lot of movies like this in my life. But even so, I still enjoyed it for what it was. Now, let's go ahead and break down my final score from an unbiased technical perspective. I had mentioned that I enjoyed some of the camera work and the cinematography. That's all about how well this film's ambiance kind of played out. I liked some of the gimmicks the movie has, but I would say that a lot more of this film is by the books than I expected, so this won't be too crazy at 72%. My bias score, or how I felt about the film in general, is slightly higher at 78% because, I genuinely had a decent time with the film. I was lured in. I wanted to know more. Even though I guessed how it would end, it was always fun to kind of, take the ride to get there. And the interesting ways they would utilize things like sleep deprivation and lack of electronics was always pretty great. But certain things were weird to me, and they didn't always click as well as they could have. So when we average out the two scores together, we come to the final rating of 75%, 75 out of 100 possible stars, or a C letter grade. Honestly, I mostly recommend this film, especially if you're a fan of apocalyptic or dystopian thrillers like it. I think it's worth the watch, even with some of the tropes it runs into, but have you seen it? That's the question. And if you have, what do you think about it? If you haven't, are you looking forward to seeing it? Let me know. And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review. And until then, peace out.
Dave examines movies we just watch for fun. Davey is the expert. He is the #1 critic that I go to when I need a movie pick. Thanks for joining up with us.